Hello and welcome. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new. This is a place where I like to discuss spiritual and self-help concepts in a more simpler kind of fashion. So I use my own experience to explain some more abstract ideas. Today I wanted to talk about what to do with people who are mistreating you, or people that you're struggling with, or family members, just any kind of relationship conflict. Sometimes we don't know how to resolve these things, and sometimes we do everything we can to try to amend a relationship or fix a relationship or make a relationship better, and just nothing is working. Sometimes we are in a relationship maybe with a family member or a coworker or a boyfriend or a husband or a girlfriend or a wife that no matter what you do, you just don't know how to make things better, to get things better, and it's just a struggle. So this episode is really for people who are in that kind of relationship where they're stuck and they're struggling and they just don't know what to do. Maybe the person lies about little things, but then they're very sorry, but then they do it again. This is a cycle that I was deeply, deeply stuck into, and there's several factors as to why I was personally stuck into it. I grew up in a religion that taught, always forgive. So when something bad happened, you always had to forgive that person. And I was taught that I had to respect my caregivers and listen to them and do what they say. Otherwise, I was a bad person, I was a sinner, and I was going to hell. And that's a heavy weight to put on someone. So my troubles with relationships really, really started early in this concept because, as we all know, we're not always right. So it's impossible for someone to always be right and to never admit wrong, especially to someone who you have wronged. It's very hurtful to that person, and it's very confusing and it's very frustrating. And I grew up believing that I just forgive and forget, right? And it ended up turning into a coping mechanism because these people never changed. And it was very hard for me. As an adult, I sat down with one of my caregivers and I asked them, I was like, if someone is calling you names every single day and they just won't stop and you want them to stop, and I asked him, what do you do? And he did not know. And that kind of gave me a lot of insight of his dynamic, right? Of how they view dealing with difficult people. And it wasn't an answer for me. And I was like, well, I'm going to find an answer. But I wanted to find an answer that didn't involve payback. I didn't want to lie to the person. I didn't want to hurt anybody. I just wanted to be free. I wanted to be released of this stress and the cognitive dissonance that is created through someone who plays two different parts. Sometimes you can really feel like they're Jekyll and Hyde. Sometimes they're mean. Sometimes they're sweet. But what I really discovered is that I have the power to walk away. And that's the answer. That is the answer. That is the way to do it in the best way. These types of people, when you choose to walk away or you choose to set a boundary, it's very potential that they get worse. They get more angry. They treat you even more worse than before. But it's a waiting period and it's a waiting game. Hold out. You don't deserve to be treated badly. And continually going back will allow that treatment to continue. But if you step away and you completely cut things off, or you step away to a point where you're more comfortable and you can handle the situations better and you can see things more clearly. Walk away. That's the knife. That's the key. That is the way to deal with these people in the correct way. And it might not seem like it, because there will be a lot of backlash and a lot of questions, and a lot of people who only see their kind side will question you, and that person might go and try to say things about you that are not true, because why have you walked away? Why isn't it working anymore? Why aren't you trying anymore? So this is just for anybody who is stuck in a relationship or is confused or just wants people to treat them better or wants life to get better. Just take a break, step away, slow things down, and to be able to really tell if those people are going to change or be forgiving or any of that stuff, it also takes time. You have to see a pattern of change. I would be so eager to fix things that as soon as I addressed the change, I would just immediately forgive. And that doesn't really allow for change to happen. So you have to have that time and that space. So this is just for anyone who's in one of those types of relationships. They are very confusing, they're very painful, and it's very difficult to know what to do. And this is just one of the options.